Welcome back to Friday Crypto. My name is Chase. This is Thursday, so we're doing our Thursday update. If you're new here, we're doing updates every Monday and Thursday. And boy, have we had a week since our last video. I think last video we had a coin called Luna, which was a little bit more respected just on Monday, way long ago. It was trading at, I believe, Monday, maybe $60. And has anything happened since? Let's go check. Let's go check the charts. It's trading for a whopping half a penny now. Biggest exit scam in history. Makes Squid Games look like a squid. I don't know. Mind blowing. Our last video, I think maybe it was a little bit lower, but amazing. Hopefully no one got too slaughtered by that, although I have a feeling a lot of people got hurt. So, sympathies to all those people, but neither here nor there. If it can happen there, it can happen to anything. So, always have a stop loss at something. But going to Bitcoin, looking at the weekly chart here, what do we got going on? Well, we're going to get to kind of my general thoughts and feelings based on the charts, right? We try to base everything on the charts. So looking at the bottom here, look at our volume, right? Usually you want to have some kind of a standout volume to signify any type of an end, and we haven't really had that until this week, right? We're getting up there. It's our highest sell volume, highest red volume since a year ago, back in May, right? That's pretty clear, and that's pretty clear cut. What's the other thing that stands out to you, right? It should be the 7 red weekly candles, and you might say, what does that mean? Bitcoin's never printed 7 red weekly candles, so there's a first time for everything. But, maybe, I talked about this a little bit in my last video, I believe, that, maybe we don't have to have the massive spike candle because we've never had this amount of 7 reds just leading up like this. Look at this. I mean, look at the bottom of the volume chart, right? It just doesn't really happen. So maybe we're starting a new kind of trend, right? We didn't get the parabolic blow off like we did back in 2017. So maybe we don't get, the massive spike volume, right? This is big enough. And my point in all this is we could potentially obviously no guarantees. There's no certainties in crypto. The only certainty is uncertainty, right? But we could be looking at least a temporary bottom. And what do I mean by temporary? Does that mean we could be a full macro bottom? It could be, right? This could be the lowest Bitcoin goes maybe forever, the rest of forever, right? Could we next week be lower? Of course, right? Of course. We could be no lower tomorrow, right? There's no guarantees. But, so this moving average down here is the 200-week SMA, simple moving average, which we only have 2 data points here, but, back in 2018, the capitulation was right to there. Held perfect support. The pandemic, right? We busted through it a little bit, but, that's the anomaly. So I don't really see that happening again. So in my book, really, we only have 1 data point, right back here, right? And that was after a prolonged bear market already. Lots of ups and downs. We didn't really have anything like this. This time is a little bit different. Right? We didn't have the super massive blow up, right? We didn't have all of this chop. It's a little, similarities, but not, certainly not even hardly a rhyme, right? So we have to be prepared that this is the bottom. And you also need to be prepared if this is not the bottom, right? So a couple different, scenarios in my book, right? What also we want to look at is right here, the 8 EMA versus the 100 EMA. And this is on the weekly, so it's 100 week versus the 8 week, okay? And what has that done in history? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let's go back and check. So the pandemic, right? We could, I guess we'll just check it, right? When those two crossed, it was all briefly, but the bottom was already in, right? The bottom was already in. So 2018, let's look at that. The capitulation, right as the 8 crosses the 100 week. And, the low is not in, although the biggest losses for the week are kind of right as that's happening, right? So maybe we have that to go off of this time. Just trying to, show you some things that I'm seeing, right? And if you want to go back in history more, well, you just got to go back to the BLX. So we have one other data point in history. We can go way back here and see what else happened back in history. You can see there's nothing else, right? Because we started here. Right, 100 weeks takes some time to get going. So way back at the whopping price of $300 Bitcoin, we had the cross again of the 8 and the 100 week. And as we did that, you can see we didn't really have a capitulation event yet. So the capitulation happened, pretty much right after that, right? So, not repeating but rhyming. And so that's, if I'm taking anything away from that, I'm seeing that, we're kind of rhyming with that. As the 8 crosses the 100-week, basically capitulation is either happening or we're roughly bottoming. So could we come down to this 200-week again? Of course, right? Right now it's just above 22K. So if it takes another couple weeks, right, you could certainly see something like this playing out, where we come back up maybe a week or two, kind of hit our head on the 100-week, right, and then kind of move back down and hit this at, let's say like 23K or something like that, right? Maybe something like that plays out. Nobody knows, right? Anybody that's dead set on something happening, you should be running away from, right? Nobody knows what's coming, but we have the volume, right? There's evidence that this could be at least a local bottom. If we get above 30K, in my opinion, right? If we get above 30K, I think there will be some longs coming back into the market. Certainly if we start getting above these bottoms here, 31K, 32K, right? We can make a nice, quick, swift move back up to here to this, mid 30K level. So we'll check again on our next update, which will be Monday. If you want more updates than this, I do daily updates in my Telegram. So that's linked below, Patreon, Telegram. We also have a free one. I post, some things in there, but if you want the daily updates, you want to see my smiling face every day, you got to join our Patreon group. So great bunch of people in there. Hopefully you can learn something. Those just for people that want to learn a little bit more and keep a little bit more, tightly updated. So, other than that, what else do we have to go on? Well, we already looked at the meme coin that is Luna, the Bitcoin dominance. Let's take a gander at that. We're having a little spike out of that, which we haven't seen in quite some time, right? This is up almost 7% this week. So maybe something to be said for that. So we want to watch, just like anything else, just watch a little moving averages, right? We start getting up in here and we start breaking up to, highs we haven't seen in over a year. Bitcoin dominance goes up, whether or not other coins do. Just because Bitcoin dominance rises, it doesn't mean prices are rising, okay? It means Bitcoin's taking a grasp over the rest of the market. So if, when Bitcoin goes on its tears to the upside or the downside, usually the dominance starts rising. So just throwing that out, that, want to keep an eye on this and realize that some things are starting to potentially happen that we haven't seen in quite some time. And namely, going back to October, right? Remember how well everything was doing last October, right? It was pretty good. So we'll see. We'll see if this is good. It tends to be good or bad. Just wanted to point that out. Let's check at our best friend, worst enemy, opposite day, the DXY. So this is the bullish pattern, right? Bullish, right? If you catch my drift there. We're breaking out of this, right? So a lot of people are calling for tops, kind of right in here, double top, and surprise, not happening, right? We're still going up, right? Nobody knows why. Don't even try to figure it out at this point, right? The sky is blue. We all know that. Don't try to do a bunch of research on why. It's not going to help you, right? The DXY is going up, plain and simple. And until it stops going up, Bitcoin and crypto as a whole will cease to go up, right? So pretty plain and simple. We need some kind of a blow off top or just a harsh rejection out of that. What we don't want is we don't know where we are in this cycle, right? We don't know if we're down here, right? We could have a move up and then a pullback, and then it could go to all-time highs again, right? We're all-time highs. Really got to go to the monthly. I mean, you can see we're at the highest we've been in since almost 20 years. So let that just sink in a little bit. So anybody thinks the top is, right around the corner, like I ask you, why? If we're at higher prices than we've been on the DXY in 20 years, who says we can't go up here, right? So just throwing that out there. I've seen a lot of people talk about like the top is near, Bitcoin's and crypto's getting ready to light fire and go on a parabolic rally. Well, who says that? Why? Who says you're not right here or right here or right here or right here? Or we have 6 more months of this continuing up to 120, right? There's a possibility of that all happening. I mean, this doesn't look too much like it's going to just reverse at any point, right? These are monthly. This is the monthly time frame, by the way. This is the 8-month EMA, right? Look at the spreading of these, the separation of these moving averages, right? That is very bullish. Look at the last time they separated in a big way, right here, right? What if we're right here? What if we're right here? What if we have this ahead of us? This would absolutely destroy crypto. Just throwing it out, not saying it's going to happen. My job is to open your eyes as many ways as possible in crypto, and not just blind leading the blind and repeat what everyone else is saying, right? I don't watch anybody else's stuff, so this should be pretty much new to you and to me, right? I don't even rehearse this. I just clicked on the DXY and I'm showing it to you, right? So just want to prepare you that the end could be next week. The end could be 6 months, right? We could potentially be going up to here or even higher, right? We don't know, right? We don't know if we're going to put in a macro low or low, but so far we've put in a higher high than 2017, 2020, right? These peaks. Think about this. This is the reversal points for Bitcoin to kick off its bull run, right? 2017 really kicked off as the DXY slid off here. Bitcoin exploded. 2020, right? March 2020, as DXY slid off here, Bitcoin exploded. Until we get something like this, Bitcoin's not going to move. However, it can change quick. So if you see this happening, certainly on a weekly or monthly basis, obviously, right? If we get a couple red months like this or something like that, right? If we see a 2% monthly decline in the DXY, you can bet your keister that crypto will respond in a positive way. Okay. Keister, who's heard of that word? Man, grandma. I think my grandma used to say that. All right, let's see what else we got. I don't know if we've got a whole lot of other things to be covering. Oh, there is one more thing I wanted to show you for those of you still around. Let's look at the Gaussian channel, the 5-day Gaussian channel, of course. I want to show you one more thing. Let me remove the volume here. It gets a little bit messy here. Look at this. So this is the 200 SMA on the 5-day, right? We're beneath the 5-day Gaussian channel, which, as you know, and I've said for years, that anytime you're under it, it's a good time to kind of start to accumulate, because that tends to be, we don't know where the bottom is, but any time you're under the 5-day Gaussian channel, looking back at it, years from now, you'll see like that was the most opportune time to be accumulating Bitcoin or whatever coin you're looking at. So obviously a lot of coins are getting hurt harder than Bitcoin, but I mean, just look back in history and you can see, right? Anytime under the Gaussian channel, right? And you can go back on the BLX and you got another one back in there as well. But looking right here, right? So we're under the Gaussian channel. We don't know where the bottom is, but starting to come back into the market with a little bit of money here. If you've bought any time in the past year or 2 years, odds are you have bought in Bitcoin or any altcoin at a higher price than they are right now. So if you're buying higher, why not buy lower, right? So that's just my 2 cents. You can do what you want. You can wait until we turn green. Now, here's a other little bonus here. So when this will be when our next bull run is starting, right? Here's the cheat sheet. When the 5-day Gaussian channel turns back green, and it will take some time, right? We're gonna have to have prices back above 50K. So yeah, that's probably gonna be a little bit from now. But when we get back up there and you see this channel turn green, in history, that's the fire for the bull run, right? Even back here with kind of a fake out, right? Minus the pandemic, this was the start of the bull run right here, right? We might have hit this, bounced, and gone, right? And let's go look at the BLX real quick, just for S&Gs, right? There's 2017, 2018, right? Turn back green and go. Minus pandemics, right? If we have a World War 17, we're probably in trouble, right? So, right, 5-day Gaussian channel, underneath it for a long time, turn back green, gone, right? Bitcoin history, green to red, back to green, gone, right? You catching the point? So it's going to continue again. That's the main reason Gaussian channel exists, right? So watch this, whether it be, 6 months from now, 2 months from now, a year from now, whatever it is, when we turn back green on the Gaussian channel, it's go time. So I'll leave you with that. We do have car of the day, and it's a doozy. We got a Ferrari F8 wrapped by Dogecoin. So someone made some cash, I hope, enough to pay for this Ferrari in Doge. There's the real one. No dogs or memes in this one. That's the real Ferrari F8. Pretty slick. You can have one too for like 350K. Maybe. Might be going up. Most Ferraris are going up in price. Quote of the day. Tears of joy are like the summer raindrops pierced by sunbeams. It's a little deep, and I want what they're having. That's what it reminded me of. I'm like, what is this person's thinking? Okay, we're out there. Charlie Murphy. All right, I'll end it there. I'll see you on our next update on Monday. We'll see what we got by then. Hopefully we got a bottom in, and hopefully we're talking on Monday. Bitcoin's back to mid-30s, and we're all a little bit happier. Unless you were all in Luna, then I'm so sorry. What a terrible, terrible thing. I'll catch you on the next one. Check us out on Telegram. Follow me on Twitter. Post some different things here and there occasionally. If you want more of my awesome face and chain link neon sign, check Telegram. All right. Appreciate y'all.